Ralph, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you taking the time to be with us on myprintresource.com.
My pleasure.
Well, great. What was behind the decision for the GRAPH EXPO this year to use print integrated as a theme?
Actually, it's really pretty simple, but we needed to do it anyway. Print integrated. Everybody knows now that print doesn't stand by itself. Okay, it used to, and it could, but right now, for effectiveness, any organization that's focused in marketing, and everybody is now, it's no longer about ink on paper, toner on paper, particularly as it relates to the organizations that are transitioning to marketing service providers and broader than that. It's all about integrating print with so many different levels of media, whether it's social media, whether it's various types of printed media. It's all about an integrated direct marketing, whatever it is. So we felt like print integrated was an appropriate theme in this environment right now.
How does the idea of basically in-plant printers, how does it, for government, commercial, whatever you want to use it for, how does that figure into the mix of the integration theme, or doesn't it?
Well, it does, but one of the things that we realized for many years, in-plants have been a very big part of what we do here at GRAPH EXPO and past prints. We never really focused, I think, effectively on them, or really had to call them out. And when we went back to our research and realized that they're the third largest category segment of printers that show up at GRAPH EXPO every year. So we realized that we needed to spend a little bit more time focusing on their brand, their whether it's, as you said, government, whether it's schools, whatever, corporate. So now, for this show, the increase in co-located events, we count 6 co-located events of the 48 here at the show, focused to in-plants, which shows us clearly that what we need to do is focus more on that, and we're glad there. We have an independent track in education, and other things that we're focusing on at the show.
And it
call
shows
that out.
You have your thumb on the pulse.
Well, we'd like to think so. Let's put it that way. And clearly, the in-plant market is huge, and in my opinion, understated generally for what's being done in print in the United States. So,
what do you see as a trend 5 years out, let's say?
I'll go with 3 to start, okay, Roger?
All right, let's go.
5 is all right, but I would tell you there's probably one major that's out of our control. That's the economy in general.
Sure.
So what trends are going to impact our industry? The economy generally. As the economy goes, so much of our industry goes. And even though we're not completely linked, as closely linked to GDP anymore, it's still a very important economic indicator for us. The other 2 are a little bit more in our control, believe it or not, and that is our own ability to stifle, or actually I don't say stifle, to right the wrongs that the sustainability industry is doing to us. We're allowing somebody else, okay, the charge for green, or more importantly, that we're not green. Our industry is not sustainable and not green. We're letting them paint the picture that is not completely true for our industry. So if we don't turn that back a little bit, or say, listen, this is what we truly are, okay? We're the third, from manufacturing industries, we do more recycling. We're the third strongest recycler of any manufacturing industry in the country.
So you're looking at a bigger footprint, basically.
Absolutely, and a more accurate assessment of what we are. The last one, believe it or not, is in our control too if we get more active on Capitol Hill, and that is the future of the USPS, the Postal Service. Almost 50% of what gets printed is mailed. And depending on what happens to the USPS, is going to have a big trend and a big impact on what happens to print in general. So 1 out of our control, the general economy. 2, I believe, very much in our control, that is telling the true story of how sustainable and green our industry is. And 2, getting to our elected officials and saying, guys, the post office future is vitally important, not just directly to our industry, but 8 million jobs that are linked to our industry.
Dependent.
So those are the 2 that are in our control right now.
Absolutely, no question about it. Let me ask you this, with the economy looking better, basically day by day,
it is,
and the suppliers, the manufacturers, all investing heavily into technology and digital and those areas, does that really bode well for the overall look of the group?
It does. Although the type of investments that are being made by printer, whether it's in plant, whether it's package printing, whether it's digital printing, they're understandably cautious, all right? So we are, as you said, we are starting to see that come back, but that's no panacea, and that's not going to turn around tomorrow.
No.
But the trend is in the right direction.
That's great.
The economy getting stronger, consequently, dollars loosening up a little bit more so that capital is available for that type of investment, and particularly outside the United States. The United States is extremely important. Still, the largest print market in the world by 2 times, all right? Despite our flat nature over the last few years and the growth of China and India and other BRIC countries, we're still by far the largest print market in the world. There is still that investment that's going into it.
Well, it's amazing how the printers, the suppliers, the contributors to the industry all look at the United States influence, but yet it's a worldwide influence.
It is.
It's tremendous.
You're absolutely right. As I, in the last month, I've been to 2 of the BRIC countries, Brazil and Russia, and both growth countries when it comes to print. Certainly Brazil is. But to your point, they are so interested in knowing what's happening in the U.S., not only from a print standpoint, but from a technology standpoint, from a workflow standpoint. It is vitally important. It is.
Appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Ralph,
My pleasure.
Great talking to you.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good show.
Thank you.